Apple Vision Pro, beware. Beware, please. And I say this sincerely. What's happening right now is horrible. People are running out to buy the Apple Pro Vision. Now, just in case you didn't know what that is, that's similar to this device right here, which is the Meta Quest 3. Very similar in the sense that it's an AR, VR type of headset. This is more on the VR side, but nevertheless, you can to have what they call pass through with this. But the main thing is this: the Apple Vision Pro is going to cost you $3,500. I want to be your conscience. $3,500 plus tax, that's gonna run to $3,800. Now, a lot of people are getting hyped up on the Apple train. There's a lot of media sites, YouTube channels, and media and CBS News, and all these outlets are saying, oh, go buy, go buy. Oh, it's wonderful, it's magnificent. You know, then on the side, they say, oh, don't go buy it. But meanwhile, it's magnificent. It's like you contradicting people. You get what I'm saying? It's like contradicting. You're saying one thing is great, is this and that, but then you switch around and say, oh, but don't go buy it. Who's not going to buy something after you just gave it a tremendous amount of praise? Like, it doesn't make sense. Most people are going to go rush and go buy it. But hold up. Before you do that, right? Because I seen people, yo, this is kind of crazy. People going to get their vision checked. They spend the money on their eyeglasses, their contact lenses. And you say, why is that? Because as you know, or if you don't know, is that the Apple Vision Pro, you cannot wear your everyday glasses. You have to get a special custom lens. And that custom lens costs about $150, 140 taxes, you know. So you gotta get a special lens to put in it. So what people are doing is they running out, getting their vision checked. So they can go get the custom lens to put inside the Apple Vision Pro. Then what people are doing on top of that is they going out and they taking out loans. They straighten up their credit. They selling things. You get my point. They going crazy because they need $3,500 to go make this happen. This is crazy. Let me ask yourself a question. Then you got to ask yourself this question, right? Like I said, I want to be your conscience. You got to ask yourself this question. If you're going to pay for this thing, which is, once again, $3,500, I keep stressing that. That means your month-to-month bill, if you use an Apple Card, is going to be about $290 something per month. Yeah, you got that right. 200 something, over $290 per month. So the question is, can you afford $290 something per month? Mind you, you gotta pay your taxes, you gotta pay, you know, when I say tax, I'm talking about, some people quarterly, some people yearly, some people annually, some people monthly, depending. You gotta pay your car note, you gotta pay your gas, your heat, your electric, your food, your kid gotta eat, your baby need new clothes. You get my point. Like, you gotta think about this. You gotta really, really think about this, right? That's why I say Apple Vision Pro, please beware. Because they're not thinking about you. They are trying to sell your product. And that's what you have to understand. But here's a different side of it. Now, for some of you might notice, maybe some of you might not notice, here at Consumer Lab, we also are developers, right? So we do software development, and I'm just going to show you that we do software development. And here's one of the things they sent to us. They want us to start developing for them, right? They want all of it developed, not just me, but a whole bunch of developers. They want us to sit there and make apps and programs, stuff like that for them. But I'm going to tell you something different. See, and before I say that, I'll make it real quick. A lot of YouTube channels, a lot of not just YouTube channels, a lot of people out there in the world, they like in the tech world, they're so excited for the product, right? They'll say, oh yeah, like I said before, oh don't go buy it. But let me tell you all the great things about it. Like, they're not telling you the other side, the dark side, the beware side, right? And the beware side is, as a developer, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Most developers are going to develop for this product. There's no doubt about that. We're going to develop, we're going to make some apps, some things like that. But mind you, and keep this in mind, not only are we going to limit the amount of development we're going to put on that, but we're going to wait and see what market are they going to actually capture. It's very important. This is extremely, I want to make sure you understand this. See, the other side of having a nice product, right? And don't get me wrong, the Apple Vision Pro, like I said in my previous videos, go check that out. By the way, subscribe, right? Like, subscribe. I appreciate it. The other side of it is that when you developing, and this is something a lot of sites just not talking about, I don't know why. When you are developing, You are trying to assess what market is that product is going to capture. Why? Because I'm not going to develop games for a market that doesn't make sense, that doesn't plan to use it for games. And I'm going to show you something real quick. For example, we worked on products for this. This is called, by the way, this is called HoloLens. It's by Microsoft. This is basically strictly like an AR device, and this is about 3,500 too, right? Now, when you making when you developing software for this, and this is like just something to think about. I want you to really think about this. When you developing software for that, right? What's happening is that I realized, at least here, we realized that, okay, this is not going to really capture games. We realized that even though Microsoft kept saying, "Oh, games, 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 games," it's not going to capture. It was never intended to really. I shouldn't say it was never intended. They thought it would capture the game market, but it didn't. So that's why HoloLens one was structured to be like consumer friendly, but then they realized, oh, it ain't working. Why? Because us developers, we realized, why spend time on a product that costs $3,500? Who's going to use that? Is Jimmy in the house going to use that? Is Sarah, who play video games on PS5, going to use that? No. They might want to use it, but it's so expensive. Is parents right now, with the economy that we have now, going to go ahead and say, "Oh, you know what? Let me just go ahead and spend $3,500 so my kid can just play games"? No, unless you got disposable cash, then they will probably do it. But even then, they might probably think twice, right? So, like I just showed you, HoloLens and the Meta Quest 3, I'm more apt to make games for this, to make consumer software for this, than I was for the HoloLens, which, by the way, is the Meta Quest 3, right? Why? Because it just makes sense. It's a business aspect to this too. And I know this might sound a little boring, whatever, but you have to understand, this is not about just me talking about development and stuff like that. This is about me being your conscious and telling you that you have to please be aware that the Apple Vision Pro, they gonna trout it. Everybody gonna say it's the best device. They gonna jump off cliffs and show all these beautiful advertisements and movies and try to capture your love and say we have your soul. I mean, they gonna do everything. But what they're not gonna tell you is that at a $3,500 price, and this is something I understand, at a $3,500 price, most software developers, they initially will put software out there. But in the end, if the price doesn't drop, if they don't see a lot of people buying it, which they probably will not, they definitely not gonna see a lot of people buying it, then what's gonna happen is that market is not going it's not gonna materialize. It's just not gonna materialize. Because why make a lot of product for something that people are just not gonna buy? You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. It's like, think about it. Would you open up a car wash if there's only two cars that's being washed every 2 weeks? No. Like, what type of money am I making from that? Right? The money it costs to build the place, the money it costs to get the workers, and et cetera, et cetera. It's not worth it. Yes, like I said, initially they will. Now let me just put another side note to this, and I'm going to prove my point. Think about this: the Apple Vision Pro. We just have a little conversation here. I just want, like I said, I want to be a conscious. I want you to understand the Apple Vision Pro, the whole enchilada and cheese and bacon eggs. I want you to understand this. The Apple Vision Pro. Look at the specs itself. The spec says it's 256 gigabytes. 256 gigabytes? Are you kidding me? You can't do nothing. What are you going to do with that? Like, what are you really going to do with that? Think about this. The Mac that I'm recording this on right now is 1 terabyte. 1 terabyte. Most desktop computers, at least, 512 gigabytes. Most. My cellular phone, this cellular phone here, is 1 terabyte. This is by the way, it's the Apple Pro 15 Max. I'm sorry, iPhone Pro 15 Max. You get the point. That's 1 terabyte. That's 1 terabyte. That's a phone. So you mean to tell me I'm gonna spend $3,500 on a device that only have 256 gigabytes? Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm just trying to bring reality. And here's another thing. Look at the videos. Look closely at the videos. Apple was saying they're going to trout 1 million. This is where it gets crazy. And this is where you know that they just trying to sell you and grab you. They said they're going to come out with 1 million apps, software, as they call it. 1 million. Can you imagine? Yo, 1 million? There's not even 1 million developers in the world. Like you got to be kidding me. But here's what they need to tell you. Those 1 million apps, or however they want to word it, what they are is they're going to be basically going to be transferred from all the other devices you have, like the iPads, the iPhones. So what you really going to get is not full developing software, but apps. Who want an app on a $3,500 device? I mean, you got to ask yourself that question. Who wants that? You spend $3,500. I spent $3,500 on a desktop, a Dell Alien desktop, and I get more than that. Do you get what I'm getting at? It's great to have a device that have all the technology. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna be high tech. I'm not denying that. It's gonna have 4K monitoring, I mean screens, resolution sharp, nice hand gesture motion, all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, you gotta ask yourself a question: what in the world I'm gonna do with it? If I'm gonna spend $3,500 on a device that all I can do is use apps as if I'm on my cellular phone or my iPad, then what's the point of it? Here's another thing. If you look at some of promotion videos, what are they doing? They show you that you could connect from your Mac computer to the Apple Vision Pro. Think about that. From your Mac computer, Apple Vision Pro. But mind you, the Apple Vision Pro is only going to be used as a monitor, not as its own individual device, only as a monitor. Are you kidding me? So that's magnificent. So you mean to tell me I could take my Mac? By the way, this is the M1 chip in here, which cost me about $2,700, and I'm gonna stream it to my Apple Vision Pro, which cost me $3,500, and I'm gonna have a great time. Why not just buy a big screen monitor then? What's the point? You get my point? Like, what's the point? Like, it doesn't make no sense, right? And then they say, last thing I'm gonna mention, then they say, oh yeah, by the way, you're gonna be able to open up all these screens and monitors. Guess what? I can do the same thing with this. I can do the same thing. It might not be 4K, but I can open up multiple windows with this. I can do the same thing. Guess what? Even with this. Matter of fact, if you went to CES, by the way, check out that video. I did a video on CES 2024. They got glasses right now that they gonna allow you to do the same exact thing. So you get my point is that you have to explain to me why, to the average day customer, why they gonna spend $3,500 on this device where the things that you're really offering is nothing spectacular in the sense of actually uses, in the sense of me actually using day to day. Here's my prediction. When I see these things happen is this. At that price point, that device is obviously is not going to sell to the masses. It's just not going to do it. Apple will have to, and they realize they know they're going to have to do this. They're going to have to come out with a device that's much more affordable. It's the only way around it. Or come out with some new device that would incorporate another type of technology where it's just a screen and you can watch the your transfer video from your laptop to the monitor to your screen on glasses type of thing. It have to be something like that because I can't see them just using this business model or the Apple Vision Pro as being the all be in. It's not gonna happen. And the reason, like I said, is because one, the cost, the price point is probably the number one reason. Two is the fact that developers not gonna keep developing for a device that people just not gonna buy. Three, another market that will make sense for them to keep developing on this is more for a business perspective. That's the same thing that happened with Microsoft. Microsoft initially started, like I said before, started to use this for games and everything, and then they realized it's not selling, so they went to the business market, right? And I can see Apple doing the same thing with this $3,500 device. I say this, I can't say it enough. Buyer beware.